studied all my life through meditation, I've always looked inside to have direct contact and direct teachings. And it's a lifelong work because you have to make sure you filter out your mind, your personality. I think whenever we're channeling, and I don't even like to use that word, but whenever you're allowing messages to come through, there's a chance that you're going to color. We each have vibrations and energy, and we get attracted to the vibration and energy, and we will all be different colors of a rainbow in what comes through us. But for me, that vibration is to be embodied, that we are a chalice as Mary was a chalice, that we are a vessel as Mary was a vessel, but most of us don't feel worthy to believe that. And I've gone through a process of studying this for a couple of years with Mary's help. I created the last CD I did, which was really guided through Mary and St. Hildegard of Bingen to speak out for women. And it was called Arise Above Abuse, because it wasn't until I found that strength and love and compassion and forgiveness of Mary that I was able to really see the hidden and the shadow side of myself that was ready to come out and be released, because Mary's compassion and understanding gives you the strength to be able to embrace all of yourself so you can be a clear vessel. And I know you've gone through similar things.
And, as one who's been blessed to serve in ministry and through all of the different ways that we are waking up, our worthiness issue, and I speak for myself, I would say it's one of the most universal lies that humankind has bought into. I'm not sure the millennials have bought into it. Has anybody paid attention? These guys are living life in the fast lane, and they're not waiting for rules. They're not waiting for someone to give them permission. We, about 8 years ago, brought together a young group of millennials, or younger, actually, from 18 to 23 that were activists. Some of them had parents who had been really active in spiritual or social activism music movements. And so we were meeting to plan how we could integrate them, how we could, set up a program and make it meaningful. By the time we got together at 10 in the morning, they had all interconnected. They already had 2 events planned. They had already been on each other's networks, and they were done. I mean, done with planning because they had to live the day. There was a beach, and when it was time, they showed up, which meant when there was a place to feed the homeless, they all went and they all promoted it. And when somebody else had another project, they were on it. They had resources, and they weren't waiting for permission. I stood there and said, hallelujah, we've been waiting for this team. So, back to worthiness. We all deal with, but it's a lie. And it's a lie that was propagated by the church. And if you go, it really was a lie, because I would ask anyone listening to go get your Bible if you got one and open up Genesis. And it says, and God created. Right there, just read the very first chapter. God created, and tells all the stuff God created. And when he was done, he created man and woman in his image, in its image. So now we know there's something going on. And then God said, it is good and very good. That's how you're original blessing. We are original blessings. The idea of original sin was there was a big mistake made. And it said when you make a mistake, Adam fell asleep. He didn't die. He didn't go to hell. He fell asleep. When I look at humanity, we're asleep. We were meant to be spiritual giants. We have the power to create heaven on earth. We have been given the resources, and I love that God movie, because when John Denver was going, well, come and help us, he said, I gave you each other. And we are shifting now, and I think it's already shifted. If you turn on and watch the politics, they haven't shifted. They don't know the planet's moved. We're looking at those guys are stuck in the flotsam. They're looking at the stuff that's left over. We're moving on. We believe in freedom. All over the world, people are waking up. And if we're back to the mother or the mother's love, of course she's moving. But back to that worthiness. I hope everybody that still has it, because we can run up against it, just goes read the book of Genesis and then get a good friend to look you in the eyes and let her be the mother. I'm looking right in Cindy's eyes right now, and I'm saying, child of God, I've sent you here to be the light of the world. Set something on fire and let's get started.
We are all the beloved children, and it's funny, in a way, I think we're just here on the playground of life. ready to graduate. When we're ready, we learn the lessons. And as you said, in our relationships, in our meditations, in our encounters, we have a chance to learn from even those we call our enemies. We can learn our best lessons and sometimes hardest lessons. And through the pain and suffering, that's when you find people going and looking for answers and praying the most. And that's when you see the people lighting a candle in a church, going and praying, opening up their heart and saying, there's got to be some miracle waiting here. And there is. There's miracles waiting in every single breath, in every single moment. When I saw a vision of Mary, when this began, I was doing a Mary retreat, a self-retreat, and I had the vision of this beautiful, blessed energy of the Mother in a form that was wearing a crown of true stars, living stars, not like you see in the paintings, but these were stars that were surrounding her. I mean, if you can imagine stars you see in this universe just actually surrounding her head, purposeful stars representing the different energies. I mean, a blue robe that was a robe of protection and mercy, and a golden orb, the world, in her hand. And she reached out and handed me this golden orb. Little did I know, I actually went and Googled Golden Orb Mary, and this was also a vision that Catherine Lebeau had. And so at that point I began going, okay, I've never really been a Mary advocate. I'm always always loved the paintings, but I realized I had this relationship, and that's when, everything started coming through. And it's messages of love. It's messages not of sin. It's not messages of you're a bad person, you're an evil person. It's messages of you're a beloved child of God, that you are perfect, you are loved, you are safe, you are protected, and that I am here with you always. And I wrote this about the robe. Mary wore a robe of blue, as we, as disciples, can do. It's a holy energy, an etheric protective quality. As a servant of her great love, the one who delivers us to grace, we can live a better life to help overcome our fellow humans' plight. Mary wore a robe of blue, as we, her servants, can do, for we are in tune with her divine energy and embrace the truth to set us free. Mary wore a robe of blue. It's a protective cloak divine that dresses her with the beauty given by God and holds a blessing for all mankind. And if we feel worthy, we certainly can accept this plan. For Mary wore a robe of blue. We can live and help in any way that we can to serve our fellow humans. We can be disciples of her love. And we can have compassion and grace and see God in each other and the world. We can see all the children of God who are in such need of this love and can be served and saved by the Spirit of the Holy Ones. And so we learn to serve with Mary's compassion and grace, and we can wear the robe Mary wore and help the human race. And that was just part of it, that and then the exercise of bringing the stars down to surround us and clearly kind of clear us of anything that can come into our energy field. They're very simple exercises, and if we just ever feel that there's energy out there we need protection from, because many, like you and many others who are very sensitive to spirit, can easily be empaths or pick up energy. And if you need protection, just put on this protective, beautiful robe of blue, and it holds that energy. I do it in the morning when I begin my meditation and prayers, and it's, yes, we can take that golden orb of the world, and yes, we can wear the robe, the blue robe of Mary, and yes, we can use that crown of stars, and we can bring that down for us. this is something, as you mentioned, it's something that is there within all of us to embrace if we can just accept that grace. It's really an amazing grace. And if we can, then I think truly our lives and the lives of others on this planet can be really brought into this high vibration, this pure vibration of unconditional love.
Well, you've got me there with unconditional love. I was so mesmerized, Cindy. You send me some of your writings each morning, and I hope people listening will go to Cindy's website where you can actually read them, marysmessagesoflove.com. You'll be able to pick up her daily messages to set your day and to remember you don't move into the world alone. Today, the Pope is at the border in Mexico and the United States, and he's praying for all of us. And he's reminding us that a border, while it may have legal ramifications which we choose to respect and honor, we are one people and it's one planet. He's really calling on the Mother herself, Cindy. I feel when I watched his Christmas Eve, which I've never done, I'm not Catholic, but I watched his Christmas Eve service and his devotion to the Mother, which is evident. He just prays all the time. And someone said to me, well, geez, the Pope is out there open-aired going into these places. And someone just casually said, oh, he doesn't move without legions of angels and the Mother herself. And I said, oh, well, though he's at the border today, and I'm just joining in the love and the light that is spreading against the dark forces. The light always overcomes, but we remember to do it in love. That's what the Mother and Christ keeps reminding us. He said, pray for your enemies. Do good to them. Bless those who harm you and hurt you. That's Jesus. So if you're calling yourself a Christian, you need to read the New Testament. There's no eye for an eye. He said, you've heard that, but I tell you different. And I really want to put in a stand. We need to be firm in our faith. If you're calling yourself a Christian and you're calling for eye, you need to talk to your baby brother or your big brother Jesus, because he's got something to tell you. And maybe the Mother will tell you too.
There's this beautiful picture I found. It was a card I picked up in one of the churches in Europe, and it had a picture, a beautiful picture of Mary untying these knots, and it's called Mary Untier of Knots, and this is one that actually I think I saw a duplicate. The original is in St. Maybe I got it in St. Peter's Cathedral, and that is one prayer he did write. And thank God for I just think St. Francis and is that taught that with the equality of Clare, and I know Pope Francis is influenced by that as well. And we're seeing that love come through so beautifully through him. And really so many beautiful changes happening. I'm very grateful for how he is inspiring so many. And there's so much work to be done, but it's all done with grace and with blessings of love. And the blessings are unlimited. We are so completely able to receive unlimited blessings. All you need to do is be open. And it is a continual process. I say all you need to do. It's a lifetime of being open and receiving the love and refining us and letting ourselves being a true reflection of that Christ love energy and Mary's loving presence. And we learn every day. We learn every day, and I'm so grateful for that. This was our first communication, and it was a wonderful way of communicating, and I hope everyone had a chance to experience that. I just started a Facebook site, Mary's Messages of Love, and I'm just developing the website. I'm building it myself, so it's going to take a little time, but I've got the Facebook site up, and I will post my daily messages on Facebook at Mary's Messages of Love. And I will eventually, this will become a book, and there will be a CD, and all with divine timing and a little patience. It'll all happen. And I'm so grateful for you, Mary, and taking the time to join this conversation and communication. And it's so nice to have someone who understands truly and shares that loving energy present here with me to be able to share